Look, dude, I'm here for you. That was the fastest we've ever gone live.
Oh, well,
Like,
yeah,
I
that's
hit the button and it was live.
right. Oh my God. So what were you about to say, Anita?
I completely lost my train of thought.
Mm.
I heard a new song this weekend.
Oh, what song did you hear?
I don't know what the name of it is.
Oh,
My kids.
well, that would help.
Yeah, I'm about to win some Parent of the Year awards here.
Oh,
My
no.
kids introduced me to it.
Oh no.
Now, mind you, most of my children are nearly adults now, so I get some mercy in that category. But there's
Okay.
this song, and it's like, we like the girls with function in vaginas. Function in vaginas. And
That would help, yes? They had to write a song about
that? Yeah, and at least 2 limbs, and one is a leg.
Oh my God. Whatever happened to the hip bones connected to the thigh bone?
I was
shin
dying.
bone. Whatever happened to that?
It's the new modern uncensored version.
Yeah, obviously. Jesus Christ. Everybody's bugging out. That's what it is, I think. Everybody's just bugging out.
When are they not bugging out? I think it's just we have these moments where we're chemically balanced. And, and we're like, the fuck is wrong with these people?
Right.
And then the rest of the time we're not. And we're like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
That sounds yeah, that tracks. Oh my goodness.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Good morning, everyone. It is May 16th, 2025, and this is the Raging 2, the vlogs. It's a show.
It's a show. Do we remember how to do this?
Yeah, I'm looking. Dude, Streamyard's pissing me off again, but we can talk about that after we start.
Oh, okay.
You want to do that?
No, but hit it!
Trigger warning, fuck you.
Yeah, that definitely is the
that tracks.
That tracks. Yeah, that's definitely the mood. Oh my goodness.
Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning, Nita. And good morning, everybody joining us this Friday. Almost at Monday,
Lou.
Off by a week. Oh, so Lou.
Good morning, Lou.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So,
she's the only one who's speaking this morning.
She's the only one awake this morning. Oh my God. It's like, and yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond, still getting the eye boogers out. And if you're watching us from Facebook, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, keep Lou company, and Lou and Rue. Keep them company. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. So I guess it just might as well just start, right? I mean, there's a lot to talk about today.
So much stuff.
Oh God. Let me it's like, it's funny because I asked you if you remembered how to use this, and I almost forgot how to use this.
Well, they changed it again, so there's that.
Oh, that kind of explains it. Where's my stuff? Where's the one that I'm looking for? Well, okay. So, okay, I'll find everything. I'll find everything later. So, hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
only had one neck, I'd hack it through.
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and my medieval fantasy drama EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is in its last hour on Kickstarter right now. Issue 10 of this 16-issue series. The link is in the show notes and in the chat as well. So yeah, so the campaign ends at noon. So if you haven't pledged yet, you have about an hour to do so. So thank you everybody who's pledged, and we'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more all about it, when she wakes up, when the meds kick in.
I literally have been up like 5 seconds before we went live. Like, well, maybe 5 minutes.
Right.
Something like that. I just remember Chris, Nita, never mind. And then I'll go get your coffee. And then it was like, well, if he's getting my coffee, it must be really close.
Right, yeah.
I was like, I should get dressed. And I was like, nah. So this is what I slept in last night. But anyway, my name is Nita Lanning, and this is Indie Comics Network. And you can find us at Indie Comics Net. And it's people talking about comics and stuff.
Yeah, so
disclaimer, we don't always know what we're talking about. and neither do you.
Right. And we're gonna say it anyway.
Oh, geez, for fuck's sake.
So watch at your own risk.
Yeah. So as if StreamYard's new rules and implications were
rules.
The shit they started, not rules, whatever the fuck, the guidelines, whatever.
All right.
They like to change things after you've paid for the year subscription.
Right.
So we've got the new year set. I don't have to worry about it again. But now they've decided that no more than 3 people can be logged into your StreamYard at one time. So we have to start logging people out of accounts, which means I have to be contacted at like, if you're going live at 5 o'clock in the morning, I have to be contacted the night before, or oh my God, it is such bullshit. It's like, I don't want any more shows. I'm not doing it no more. I'm tired of trying to work around all their fucking bullshit. Like, we're making mega millions and can afford their fucking executive package or whatever.
Wow. Like, so they really they jacked up the price and really pulled in.
Yeah, they jacked up the price and they didn't even suck my balls.
Oh no.
So I'm not happy. Not even a little. They didn't even lick the tip, and I'm like, not cool with this fucking StreamYard.
Oh my goodness! If you're gonna be up my ass, pull my hair.
Right? Jesus and do it right. Don't grab the ponytail. Fucking get in there at the base of the skull and pull back.
Right. I mean, everybody wants their pound of flesh. I mean, really, it's like I have to look over like my credit card statements because I think I have a couple of subscriptions that I could have sworn I canceled that are still being charged. So,
I love that.
And the thing is, because everything's a fucking subscription now, I have to kind of go through one by one to see who it is. Just to remember who it was I canceled and when I canceled it. And
yes, but the problem is people don't want to learn it.
What do you mean? Oh, I see.
Allison said, have you looked into Restream?
So it's kind of, you see, that's the thing. That's what made StreamYard very convenient, is that you don't have to learn anything. You just click on the link and you're in. But yeah, it's like, so I have to go through and try to find all the subscriptions that I could have remembered I canceled, but they're still pretending they didn't see anything.
You ever found yourself paying duplicate subscriptions?
Oh my God. No. Although I hope I'm not, that's not what's happening.
I've done this twice now.
Oh my goodness. It's like, because it's like I said, everybody wants their pound of flesh. And it's and especially when it's it's not even $5. Now it's they want $10, $20 a month. You know, remember when like a lot of these things were like, oh, just pay $3 a month or something. Like they tried to keep it like really low, so it looked like you weren't paying anything. And now it's like, how am I paying $20 a month all of a sudden? You know? So yeah, so I have to go through that. Ugh, you know, it's like this is the shitification of everything, isn't it? So on happier news. So EGORAVEN has 83 minutes what? 83? Does that say 83? What the heck?
It does say 83.
11. Hold on. 48.
There we go.
Oh my god, that was weird. Yeah, it's like, yeah, because 83, no, it ends at noon. So we have 48 minutes left to go on EGORAVEN issue 10. We are just under $100 to hit 4K, which will unlock the Chapel Roan cosplay sticker that goes with the art print. Thank you so much, everybody who have pledged so far. The 145 backers who pledged $3,904 on this issue. It's a very special issue. It's issue 10. We're officially in double digits, and yeah, and it's like, I'm just, look, you know how it is. I just want everybody to read this story. So just read the story. I already started working on issue 11. So we're on that track. So we just got to just keep it moving. That's the whole thing with these campaigns. So so EGORAVEN issue 10, 47 minutes left on Kickstarter. We're just shy of unlocking the glitter sticker that goes with the art print. So I guess we'll just return to this closer to the end of the hour just to catch up. Also, just to give a little plug to Tenchi Muyo. This is the anime original American manga that me, JD, and Matthew Lunsford did back in '97. I did the lettering for the book, and we are currently at $131,336. I would love to get to a point where it would take me that long to say how much my campaign has raised, but we are here. And we'll take it. Thank you so much, everybody who supported this campaign. The better this campaign does, the more it could mean that we could bring more Tenchi Muyo American style comics to everybody. So let's see. Already we have the I guess like the owners of Tenchi, the Japanese owners, very excited about how this campaign did. So nice. Again, I want to thank everybody who supported the campaign. You have 3 days to go. We're kind of wondering if we could get the campaign to 150,000, which would be very nice. Like I said, it's like the happier we make the Japanese owners, the more likely they're going to allow us to do more with this series. So both links to EGORAVEN and Tenchi Muyo is in the chat. And so that's like I said, we'll come back to that later. So what's up with you, Anita? I know I have
okay,
I want to hear from you.
Okay, so like what's going on with me is totally not talking about comics right now. We are in the process of trying to find a new kitten.
Oh, okay.
And don't come at me. Oh, adopt an older cat. Suck my nuts because you don't know my story and you don't know why. But I'll tell you anyway, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna say it. Okay. So we have an older cat, Gremlin. He's been with us for fucking goddamn years. Anyway, we had another cat, Krampus. He got out and one day and decided he wasn't coming back in this time. Whatever. Anyway, it's been about a year. And since he's been gone, Gremlin has become extremely vocal and wandering the halls all night looking for somebody to play with and whatever. But the problem is Gremlin is a fucking scaredy cat. Like he is your stereotypical. If it thunders, you don't
Right.
see him for 2 days,
Right.
which is really bizarre in Louisiana because sometimes it's like, do we have a cat?
Right.
Like but he's very he's intimidated by other animals or
Right.
whatever. Like when we babysat my mom's dog, we never saw him.
Oh,
His
yeah,
food would
yeah,
disappear, but we
yeah.
never saw him.
Uh-huh.
The whole time Mr. Howell was here,
Right.
we never saw Gremlin. So my logic behind this is not only do I feel like it's better when you have a pair of them to
Right.
keep each other amused when you're busy or whatever, is that if we get a baby, it won't be quite as intimidating as in bringing in something that could eat
Right.
his lunch. You know what I mean?
Guess, sure. Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that if we got a cat his age or about his age
Right.
or an adult,
Uh-huh.
that he's going to see it as an immediate threat. Like
Right,
it's a threat
like-
to his life, his food, and everything. Whereas
Right.
the kitten, a couple little mews or whatever, and just maybe.
Right. Well, I mean, you're not going to get like a kitten bottle fed, right? I mean, just like old.
Oh no.
Right,
I'm
okay.
looking for a weaned kitten. I'm willing
Right.
to pay a nice rehoming fee, whatever.
Right. And really, and it's like your shelters don't have. Oh, here we go. So Lorraine has something to say. As the official
Thank
cat
you.
professional here, I am in full support. For a high anxiety cat, kittens are much easier for them. But
yeah,
I mean,
see, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
No, here's the deal. They're all over fucking Craigslist and everywhere else. The shelter's pretty much out.
Why?
But I don't know. Probably because they're kill shelters, Daphne, if you want to get into it.
But still, either that or
like they don't have, they haven't brought in the fresh live ones yet. I hate this fucking city.
Wow.
Anyway,
also
there are a couple
rescues.
rescues, but
Right.
the rescues, they some of the requirements they have, dude. I can adopt a kid easier than it's getting a fucking
Some
cat
of
from
them are
you.
weird, yeah.
And then it's like they were acting sus because I was putting that I was specifically wanting a kitten around I said somewhere between 9 to 12 weeks.
Right.
I'd even go 13, 15, whatever. Just
Right.
it still needs to be smaller than him.
Right.
He's not gonna hurt it.
Right.
So he has to know that, but he needs this mentality that if
Right.
I wanted to sit on it, I could, you know?
Right. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's
yeah.
And so I found 2 so far that I've like have been like really stoked about, and both fucking times ghosted by these people after conversations and pictures and everything. They just fucking disappear. And it's like,
that's weird. Yeah.
bitch. But anyway, so if I like get off of if I like mute for a second, it's because I'm actually waiting to hear back from this one guy. He's got
Right.
this beautiful little fuzzy dude, and I'm tired of getting my hopes up every time I see a cute one that I really be like, oh yeah, you can come.
Oh, isn't that all of
Yeah.
them?
Well, pretty much. Well, actually, there was this one, and I was like, yeah,
Right.
You keep that little eye booger.
Oh, no.
The picture he sent me looked like a $1,000 vet bill, like off the bat, and I'm like,
I see.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that too. Yeah.
It just looked like I could just like I would have had to name that fucker cash register because I looked at that cat and I heard cha-ching.
Oh no, yeah, that is. Yeah.
But what's exciting me about this one is it's a calico male.
Okay.
Like that's like super super rare.
Oh,
and it's
all right.
like.
So you got
when I saw it, I was like, I'm really not interested in a female. I want another male because I bond better with male cats. And every female cat I've ever had was a total bitch to me.
Right.
I was just like a piece of furniture in the food person.
Right. Okay.
So
it's not cats in general.
No, I'm telling you, I think the males. I just bond better with boy kitties.
Okay.
And so like, because I don't know. But anyway, maybe I'm just being sexist here.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, I'm specifically asking for a male, so that could be part of the problem too, because we have found several females. But anyway, the fact that it was a calico, I was like, holy shit! Yeah. So I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Oh. Okay.
I hope you guys understand anything I'm saying, because like my medicine and the weed and the coffee hit in at the same time.
Oh well, of course, yes.
Back to my song.
Well, hey,
we like the girls with functioning vaginas.
Oh no. Well, I mean, considering what I'm gonna segue into next. So I had a very long week. very long week. So for those of you who don't know, I went to a convention this past weekend, and I went and I'm wearing my official shirt today, which only shows that if I had done that T-shirt that I made on black, I would have probably worn that shirt. Black, I don't know. It's like just black is just like, I don't know. It just seems to look better. I don't know. So I went to Monsterotica, which is a Monsterotica book convention. So speaking of functional vaginas. Jesus Christ.
And 2 limbs and one is a leg.
Oh my. So so it is a book convention, and very specifically it was an adults only convention because of the theme of the show. And so that was like 2 in 1 for me. Like, so it was my
They didn't have a playroom at this one?
No, they didn't have. No, that's the one in Florida. I think that one is Smut Fest. It's a playroom that's not for babysitting children. That was a misunderstanding on my part.
I love you so much.
So yes, this one did not have this one did not have a playroom. Oh, and just for clarification's sake, this was not the convention that happened the week before, also in Baltimore, that is now being called the Fire Fest of book conventions.
What?
There was another like there was a romantasy convention a week before this one at the Baltimore Convention Center. And if you guys know what the term DashCon means, yes, that's what it was. And people were calling this the Fire the Fire Fest of romantasy book cons. It was called A Million Voices. I think it was called A Million Voices Book Festival, and the shit was a clusterfuck. It's like it was just horrible, right? So this convention that I went to was the weekend after, because when Jose was talking to some people about the convention I was at, they thought it was that one. They thought it was the other one. But so Monsterotica, right? So very specific themed. It was my first convention that I've been there in a long while as an attendee. And also it was my first adult convention. Under no circumstances was this place even remotely pretending to be a family-friendly affair. So it was all adults, right? Which is a completely different vibe than your standard comic book convention or even an anime convention. But
right.
There was a lot of similarities and also a lot of differences that I thought was interesting. But
like the vagina to penis ratio.
Right. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So the whole point of me going to this convention was to kind of network, right?
Right.
But I had completely overestimated everything about this, or either that underestimated my ability to do that at this show. Because so I was able to trade a couple of stickers and bookmarks right before the convention started. Everyone was waiting in kind of like the foyer, and people were doing trading. So I was doing a little bit, in fact, so this was my badge for Monsterotica, right? And I guess they're kind of what they're called a badge con as well, or ribbon con. I mostly see this at anime conventions or fantasy conventions, but I guess this one was the same thing.
Lore, I like that one.
A lot of so a lot of like creators were trading like these ribbons, and there were people there who had like it was like they had ribbons out to here, like it dragged on the floor, because I guess after a while it becomes kind of like a contest to see who can collect the most ribbons from the most people, I guess. So So that so these are some of the ribbons that I got. Also, this is a general admission tag.
Beefcake Mothman.
Yes, Beefcake Mothman. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Depending on what you were, like the VIPs had like a succubus. They had a convention French. They were trading friendship bracelets there too.
Oh my god.
They were
Oh my god, Daphne
what?
SwiftyCon.
What happened? Yeah,
SwiftyCon.
Yeah, this was like a Taylor Swift convention, but
gross.
you know. So yeah, so people were trading friendship bracelets and everything. So, and also I was able to trade stickers and bookmarks for some pins. So this one is just this was just an extra pin that I'm using to kind of like keep it together. But yeah, so I was able to trade. I mean, literally, there were people there with like bags. Just bags of like that of pins. Oh, you want to trade pins? And it's like you just stick your hand in there, and it was so the initial trading went okay. But still though, it's like that whole experience. I mean, I was already coming into the convention at like 80% battery, 80% energy level. And just doing what little trading that I did, I was like down to 50. It was just like, oh my God, I'm talking to too many people. I'm kind of like losing my strength here. Because even though it's a small convention, it was still like around 400 people, that showed up. Because they capped it. They capped because
right.
They didn't know how well the convention was going to do. So the promoters wanted to keep it small just to like make sure that they could like run it before, thinking about, because they could have just as easily has ended up like Million Voices the week before, just been a complete clusterfuck.
I want to know what went wrong there.
Oh, you can look it up.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. There was a lot going on, a lot and too little going on at that convention. So because I was general admission, they were only allowing us in at 11 a.m. But if you were VIP, you got in an hour earlier. So you got in at 10 o'clock into the dealer's room, which I learned later is not really a dealer's room, but an author signing area, which is very different from a dealer's room, as I found out. So, so I walk in, right? So it's like we stand online and they were very organized. They were very organized. They didn't want everybody just rushing into the room at once. So they had us like kind of like segmented, different like mini lines segmented, but it was very organized.
Nice.
Right. And, and the first thing I did that I walked in was I wanted to get kind of like a feel, just like walk around the entire room. So I filmed it on my phone. So I was just walking around trying to see, and what I didn't realize, right, is that because if I were to show the video, you would think there was nobody in this room, right? By the time I was done filming, it felt like all 400 people were in that room at the same time. I mean, it's like, had I have known the room was going to fill up the way it did, I would have planned myself differently, because by the time I got to the authors that I had pre-orders to pick up, there was a 6 to 8 hour virtual queue I had to be in. So I was like, what the fuck? It's like, I thought that I could just walk up to an author, pick up my stuff, and probably talk to. No, it's like there was some particular authors. I think it switched. Like any of the authors could be a part of this virtual queue system, so it would change as the day went on as to who had a virtual queue and who was available. Because because you literally could not just walk up to people. It was like this, and that's not even counting the people with the virtual queue.
Wow.
So I had two. So it's like, so there was, I had two pre-orders. So and mind you, whoever had a virtual queue had a bouncer. I never seen that before. Like, they would not, like, you would look at a line and see, it's like, oh, it's only 3 people there. Let me go there, right? No.
Not your time, bitch.
Yeah, for real. The bouncer would stop you. It's like, no, are you on the virtual queue? Then you can't come in. But there's only 3 people. There's a virtual queue. The virtual queue says there's 8 hours. I have to wait 8 hours. We're trying to get everybody through, but you should be able to get your pickup at most by the end of the day. Right. So, I mean, they were very strict with this, right?
That's a bit much, though.
And I go, okay. So I went, let me go looking around at the other dealers, right? At the other authors. I swear to God, it was just like I said, it was like, if you guys were following me on Facebook, I called it was like Disney World for smut books. It's like every author had a line that you were waiting at least 45 minutes in.
Jesus.
Right. So, because people were just like, I mean, the lines, and it was just like a lot of lines. And I was just like going, holy shit, like, what am I going to do? Right. It's like, how am I going to see everybody? Right. So it was really, really, testing my nerves. I was already coming in at 50%, of my social battery. Right. So luckily some of the artists weren't the same thing. It wasn't the same thing for the artists, although there were some artists. There was another artist. There was 2 artists there that had virtual queues. One of them had a very particularly aggressive bouncer. It was just very strange, because I even just came near the booth and she's like going, hi, it's like, are you here for the virtual line?
They called them bouncers. They should have called them cock blockers.
That's exactly what they were. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, because I'm calling them bouncers, but that's exactly what they were. So I was like going, oh my God, no. I'm just checking to make sure that I'm following this artist on Instagram. I was just checking. I got too close.
Oh my God.
I flew too close to the sun. So I started looking around, some other artists, because their lines weren't as long.
Right.
So, so there was one particular artist. Oh, damn it. I forgot to find, I forgot where I put it. So she was a fantasy artist, not necessarily like, there was nothing smutty on her table. Right. But she was sharing a table with another artist, and they were not. Yes, it was. Although depending on what section of the Louvre you're in, it's kind of the same thing. The Courbet. I still remember the Courbet exhibit very fondly. So they were both fantasy artists. They didn't have smut on their table, but they did do covers for some of the authors there. So I guess it's like, that's why they were there, right?
Right.
But Nita, one of them had like this gorgeous Robin Hood and Maid Marian acrylic standee that she had made, right? It like all art. I gotta hold on. I think I know where it is. Hold on.
Uh-oh, and she bought it.
And I asked her straight up, please tell me you have that acrylic standee for sale. Unfortunately, it wasn't. She just had it as a display, because she was trying it out.
Right.
But so the closest thing. So what was her name? Let me see if I can find her. Here it is. Okay, so this is her. Okay, so this is Fantasy Sprite Studio. So in the end, I could only pick up what I could pick up. because I really wasn't there to buy artwork. I was there to buy books.
Right.
So the thing that I was able to pick up was this Robin Hood bookmark, right? So it's Robin Hood on the front, Disney's Robin Hood, and then it's Maid Marian on the back. So, right. But the acrylic standee had both of them on the same print, and like on the same. So it was just like absolutely beautiful. So, and this is Fantasy Sprite Studio for anybody who wants to check out her thing. And then the one that she was sharing with was Rouge Fox Art, which it was another fantasy artist.
Nice.
There. So I picked this up. And also it was because of her that I started doing something that I wasn't expecting to do, but I ended up doing anyway. I started taking pictures of everybody's price lists. Because she had like this little portfolio of 4x. I think it was like 4x6 prints. And she had like all her because she had a Last Unicorn one that I would have picked up. She had like, she hit all the buttons, right? And this print set would have had all her prints in it. So it's like 12 prints in total, right? I went to buy it, and because it was so noisy, remember, there's like several hundred people in this room already. I asked her how much it was, and I thought she had said 16. No, the shit was $60.
Huh.
I felt like an asshole because I was giving her 16. I felt like an asshole, and I apologized. It's like, look, I just didn't hear you. It's not that I'm thinking you're cheap. I thought that's what you said, and it's like, I'm not looking to spend $60 on prints, so in the end, I ended up buying this instead. Right. But, so after that, I started taking pictures of everybody's price lists because it's like, when was the last time I saw a set of prints like that for $60? And I'm trying to remember. It's like, I don't think
I've ever seen a set of prints for $60.
Right. So it's like, so already I'm kind of like, okay, the pricing at these places are different than at a comic book convention. Although it depends on the artist. She was selling her 11x17s for $25. There was another artist who was selling their 11x17s for $10. So I guess it just depends on the artist, because there was a lot of big discrepancies between the artists as to how much they were charging. Right. Oh, so this is Rouge Fox, the woman who was sitting next to her. So this is the type of work that she does. And like I said, she's done a bunch of book covers. Like I said, that's why she's there. So that's her business card if you want to check out her artwork. So I start, trying to take my chance with the other authors. Right. So there was one author that I had a pre-order for that her line was like, it's long, but, let me go see if I can get my book. Right. Because I noticed there wasn't a cock blocker there. So it turns out that her line wasn't a virtual queue. So it was just a physical line. So it's like, okay, let me pick up this book at least. I got my receipt out. Let me just stand on this line and let me see what happens, right? Because it's like I still needed to get, I still needed to pick up my stuff, right?
Right.
So this is the book that I ended up picking up. It's called The Rake, or the Orca Who Met His Match in a Selkie Desiring Revenge. So this was the book I picked up, and while I was at her table, I picked up another one of her books as well, On the Care and Keeping of Orcs. So these are the two books. So this is by Cass O'Shire. Although the funny thing about it is that the only reason I know about her books is because I was following her artist for a while, and they were showing artwork from this book, but I didn't know it was from a book. I thought it was from a webtoon. And it's like, no, it's for illustrations I'm doing for this book. So I decided to pick up both of these because in the end, the artwork really had a huge was a huge factor in me picking up the books that I did at this show. I mean, really, the artwork really featured. So with her though, I specifically paid for like kind of like a gift box set because I wanted to see how, because we see how they do it on Kickstarter, right? So I wanted to see how the book girlies do it, right?
Right.
I kind of wish I had just bought the regular book because the gift bag was literally just that. It was just like a gift bag with some prints, which none of this I can show, and some vellum inserts that go into the book. Because like I said, artwork really features. A big thing about these books is that they have artwork separately on vellum, and then you stick them in the book, so it's kind of like you have an illustrated book, but you can buy them separately as just images. So I thought that was interesting. But in the end, and then it's like there was a keychain too, that and some stickers. So in the end, it was no different than the gift boxes you see on Kickstarter. The only difference is that they didn't I was expecting custom boxes and things like that, but no, it was just like a little baggie with the books and the tchotchkes inside and the prints. But like this is the keychain that came with it. Like I said, I can't show any of the artwork that came with it, so we're gonna just have to leave it at that. So but at least I knew, it's like, okay, so this is what it kind of like the expectation is when people do like specialty editions, right? Another as opposed to so this is considered a special edition, and then it's like there were some authors who did like really special hardcovers, that was only available at the show, like they were show exclusives, which they're not really, because they always end up selling them on their websites after the show. So I don't know how they're using the word exclusive. So I was able to get on her line. Now, here's the thing though. Like I said, it took me most of that hour just to pick up this, just to pick up these books. Just to pick up this particular pre-order, right? And by the time I got to her, there were still a bunch of people behind me, and whatever networking I was trying to do, I was just like, there's no way I can do this. I'm going to end up pissing off the people behind me,
right?
So because if somebody was doing that shit, if I was behind somebody doing networking shit in front of me, and I'm already online for 45 minutes, I'd be pissed too. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to just get my books and let me go to another author. When I got off the line and got to the other author I wanted to see, a very strange announcement came over.
Uh-oh.
The room will close in 5 minutes. And I'm like going, wait, did I hear that right? They all, and it's like, I just got off this line. I barely got really got around the room, right? I'm just about to go to another author, and they're already announcing that the room is closing, and I'm like going, what is that? And then it's like somebody, a woman next to me, she goes, oh, they're closing the room for lunch. And I go, really? And she goes, yeah. And then it's like, it's, and then she showed me where on the app that they had an app, like the schedule. And it's like, yeah, the dealer's room, this room, if you weren't VIP, is only open for 1 hour. And I go, I've never seen that before. And then I look at the schedule, and then it says that the room doesn't open until 3:00 because there's lunch and then there's a panel. And it seems that they close the room for both lunch and the panel.
Huh.
So this dealer's room wasn't going to reopen until 3:00. And I was like, what the fuck? I've never seen that before. So I was kind of like thinking, that's when it kind of hit me that I really didn't want to hang out for 2 hours.
Right.
You know, that it's like I was just exhausted. It was like that room in that hour chewed me up and spit me out.
Jeez.
It really felt like that. It was that many people. It was just like that many lines. And I was just like, I'm not going to hang out here for 2 hours. And then I did the math in my head that I could literally just walk back to Lorraine's apartment, to my sister's apartment, literally eat, take a nap,
and then
back. Come back and then just walk back, you know, and then I'd be able to like drop off, you know, like the initial books that I bought. Well, which wasn't much, which was like these two, but still though, it's like I was tired. I mean, I was just like, my bag felt like it weighed like 10 pounds.
Right.
You know, it's like, so let me just like go back. Then that way I could just bring an empty bag and then check out the rest of the dealer's room. So, you know, also I did get a swag bag from the convention that had a lot of stuff in it too. It had a nice pencil case. I had like a whole bunch of stuff. I like the pencil case they had in there. I had bought the shirt. I had a tote bag. Oh, also, when they said that the room closes in 5 minutes, because while I was on the line to pick up my book, there was another author across from me, and they had a tote bag that was like, I have to pick that up. I cannot leave without that tote bag.
Oh no.
And literally, they're closing the room. They're getting people out. And I'm trying to get my PayPal to work because they didn't accept cash to get that, because I was not leaving without this bag. So it's going by the hour for real. So this was the bag that I picked up. And
that's great.
I had to post this on Facebook, going the fine line between smut books and furry is measured in millimeters. Because this bag would be just as at home at a furry convention as it was at this one. So I had to pick. So I was like literally just like they tossed it to me and I ran out.
The ultimate crossover.
Yeah, really. So actually, the more I looked at everything, I don't think it's a crossover as much as I think everyone's in denial.
Because it's a fucking furry convention.
You know? So yeah, so that was the thing. Yeah, so it was closed for an hour, and I did exactly that. I went back to Lorraine's apartment, had lunch, took a nap, dropped everything off, and then like at 3:00 I went back with an empty bag. So I still was not able to get through the virtual queue when I got there at 3:00, but I was able to pick up more books. So this was another author that I was making a point to go see, because this is Leon Riley, right? And especially this book, Seduced by the Werewolves, she hired a legit furry artist to draw this, to make the illustrations for this book. And not only that, this one, what was funny was I had it on my Amazon list for a while when I was like trying to like figure out like what these books were all about. Right. And I saw it there and it's like, oh, but you know what? Let me give my money directly to the author instead of giving it to Bezos, right? So I bought this from her, right? But this one in particular, I was looking for, right? So one, because she was using legit furry artists for this book, but also the interesting thing that she did with this book was that she wrote it as a Patreon exclusive. What she was doing was that she was releasing chapters on Patreon, and you had to be on a particular level to get this, right? And then her patrons got first dibs on the physical copy after the story was done. Now she's moved on to the next story. So that's what she does. It's like she pretty much writes her book on. There's no illustrations. I'm opening these books like, oh, wait a minute. So she writes her books on Patreon, and then and then she releases them. So I was very intrigued by that. So that's why I had to pick up her book. That and the fact that she hires furry artists. So I picked that up. And then this is another one, another author that I picked up all 4 of her books. Again, she also uses a furry artist, but to draw orcs instead, I mean, the guy, I think, what's his name? Ryan Woodcock, I think. I had his card around. It's around. And was it? Let's see. Does she say who the illustrator is on the cover? Oh, no, cover. Yeah, Rowan Woodcock is the artist. I'm pretty sure these are the same. This is the same artist. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me see. But I do know that they've both done that. They're both. Rowan Woodcock. So this is the same artist for both of these authors. And also he's done comics as well. I think he did some comics for Iron Circus, I think.
Nice.
So again, it's like I'm getting these because not only is there a furry connection to these books, but also a comic book connection to these books. There's an author there that I didn't pick up her books, but she does a webtoon. She hires an artist to do a webtoon based on her novels. So, and so I picked up all 4 of her books because, again, better to buy directly from the author than Bezos.
Yes.
So I picked up, her books. And honestly, aside for one more book, I thought that I felt like I had bought a lot more books than I did. I mean, there was this one woman who was saying that she bought like 173 books from Monsterotica. And when you consider the average book is $20, it's like, bitch, are you telling me you really
you just dropped
$1,000?
She just dropped $1,000 on this
on these books. So so while I was so in the end I had one more. So I picked up these books, and again, it's like it's very tiring. Like I said, my whole idea of networking with people out the fucking window. There was no way I was able to get close enough. Like even just buying these books, again, there was a line behind me. So it's like, and I wasn't going to like, oh, here's my portfolio. I got to go. I wasn't going to do that, so it was just like, so that whole idea went out the window. So then, so then it's like, I had to wait for one more book that I had to pick up. I was on the virtual queue, but the cock blocker insisted that I would be able to get my book before the end of the day. So I was like, okay, fine. And here's how bad it was. They had a little seating area in front of this particular author, group of authors, but especially in front of this particular author that I was waiting for. They had a little seating area so you could wait. It was like being at the doctor's office, except it wasn't. It was just like very, very strange. So, so I had gotten to chatting with some of the people there, and I had mentioned to one woman, it's like, yeah, this is the first time I'm here, as an attendee. I'm usually vending, right? And she goes, oh, what do you vend? And I go, I usually do comic book conventions. I'm a comic book artist. And she goes, oh, really? And I go, yeah. It's like, and I gave her some of my stickers and bookmarks. I go, yeah, this is the type of work that I do. And she goes, I have an author friend who this is right up their alley. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to them. Is that okay? And I go, yeah, knock yourself out. Here's some more stuff, So, and then it's like we were talking. She was like going, yeah, because like you see, the thing is that comics, they're becoming the big trend in this circle. Everybody's doing comics, you know, and not only are they doing comics, because what it is that what
Did
some
you warn them?
warn them
Stay
what?
away. Stay away.
They
Because
because like I said, I already know of one author who's getting her books done as a webtoon. So what other authors are doing, they're doing the same thing I did with Medieval Unicorn Viking Slide. What they're doing is that they're doing like 8-page, like little 8-page comics of like, particular scenes in their books, and they're selling them as supplements along with their books. Some of the, and in fact, some of the inserts that I saw for sale were comic book pages. That it's like, oh, if you wanted to see this scene as a comic, you get that comic page insert and you put it in the novel, and then you get to see, the characters. So, so it's like, okay, all right, and then I began to really see that. I was looking for, and then I started looking for it, and that's exactly what was happening. A lot of the authors had little like comic pages that they were selling as prints, because it doesn't matter how smutty the novel is, people want to see what the characters look like. So that's why, so it's like, not only was it a book convention, it was also an art convention.
Right.
Because that was the thing. People want to see these characters, and I thought that was pretty fascinating, because here's the thing that really, really got me, was that all the porn, essentially, all the adult prints were out in the open. There was nobody censoring anything. There was no ask me for the adult stuff. No, they just had their prints out like they were prints. Like, this is just artwork. This is just, oh, you want to buy the not safe for work stuff? Here's a rack with all the not safe for work prints,
Right.
And it's like they were just out in the open, right? And the thing that amazed me was nobody was weird about it. Like, if you just wanted to buy the dirty shit, you could, well, technically that's what you were there for. That's what these books are. That's what these books.
You didn't have to be the creep that was waiting for the artist to pull something out from underneath the table.
Right. You didn't have to sit there like, oh, let me get, it's like, no, just give me that, and that. Just give me all 4 of those. It's like, or just give me these prints. Yeah, let me get the not safe for work art. Let me get the inserts. Let me get, and it's like, it was just very matter of factly, and these were authors who were more than happy to promote their artists. These were not, I mean, it's like, they just like, you want to know who they are? They gave you their Instagram. They were like, oh, they're on Instagram, this, that, and the other thing. Like, these were not people who were afraid to like, oh, I can't tell you who my artist is. It's like, oh, there's somebody I work with,
Yeah.
And then, so for those of you, so we have 30 seconds left on the EGORAVEN campaign. 25 seconds left if you haven't pledged. Thank you so much to 146 backers pledging $3,911. We almost made it to the 4K. But you know what? The fact that we even made it this far, I'm very happy. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, issue 10. like I said, thank you to the 146 backers who pledged $3,911 to help bring this project to life. So yes, thank you everybody for supporting the campaign. Like I said, I am currently working on issue 11 right now. That I should have the pre-launch page for that one soon. Up soon as well. So yeah, I am looking to launch that campaign in July. And for those of you who just missed the campaign, I will see you then. So thank you so much, everybody. And remember, in the meantime, now that EGORAVEN is over, you can go on ahead and pledge Tenchimuyu while you're at it too. Like I said, we're looking to get to 150,000 in 3 days. So yeah, so that's it for the Kickstarters. That's it for the Kickstarters. So thank you so much, everybody, for that. So where was I? Where was it? The comic books. Oh, and the artwork, right?
Right.
So yeah, so all the not safe for work artwork was just out. You know, it's like, yeah, and this is the thing too. The only men that I saw at the show were the husbands of the promoters, some of the authors, and some of the influencers. But even then, I can only count them on one hand. I can only count the amount of men I saw at this convention on one hand. Yeah, everybody else were women. You know, now, the fact that it wasn't, they could have full out pornography on the tables and nobody was fucking weird about it. Coincidence? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I ain't saying more, than that. But really though, it was quite a surprise and quite a relief. Because honestly, that's the first time I've ever experienced something like that, where it's like, yeah, you didn't need to be weird about it, and nobody was weird about it. So it was just like, just for that vibe, there was a huge booth where they just sold. I showed Nita pictures because I cannot show these pictures anywhere, although I did post in the Blue Sky. They were selling squishies. Let's just put it that way.
Yet.
They were selling squishies. It is, and they were giving out little samples. So this is a little paw print. They had different shapes. This was a little paw print that I picked up. And again, measured in millimeters, because this is the company that had the table of squishies. But in the end, I found out that that's not the only thing they make.
It is not. And
they are regulars at furry conventions.
Let me zoom in on that for everybody. All right, There we go.
So they're called Creature Feature Toys. Scan at your own risk. Visit the website at your own risk. Because like I said, this is the only thing from them that I can show is this little paw print squishy, which again, the texture is very yucky. I have to admit. But yeah, they had more interesting things on their table.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Stress balls.
Yeah. But again, nobody was being weird about it, and it was actually kind of, it was actually, it was
Max.
refreshing. Hey, Max. Oh, the potato? You mean this potato that I found at the bottom of my swag bag from the convention, along with a couple of packets of lube? You mean that potato? Right here? if this doesn't give you an idea as to the kind of like the overall theme of the show, and supposedly you can use the lube as anti-chafing for running. So, okay, so I guess so. Yes, I mean that potato. Yeah, a little potato. So so yeah. So even though the dealer's room / artist signing room was only open for 2 more hours, right? So there was the 1 hour I was there already, and then there was the 2 hours, right? So the convention for that day ran 8 hours. But that dealer's room was only open for 3 of those 8 hours, and unless you were a VIP, and then you had a 4th hour. And I was kind of like unsure as to like how I felt about that as a convention. I thought, anti-chafing for running is what people tell themselves. I didn't know what to make of that, but not for nothing. By the end of that 3rd hour, right? And I'm sitting in their little waiting area, right? Waiting for my number to come up. And here's the thing, it didn't come up. What happened was that because it was the end of the show for the room, a lot of people who were on that virtual line left for the day. So the bouncer was now letting anybody to come in to pick up their stuff because technically the
cock blocker turned into a cook.
Yeah,
awesome.
Because everybody who were still on the line, they left, I guess, because the line resets the next day.
Right.
So she allowed me to get into this line to pick up my pre-order. So the last book that I picked up was this book called, it's Tiffany Roberts, who's actually a husband and wife team. Tiffany's the wife, Robert is the husband. And again,
with their powers combined,
they created a publishing empire, a self-publishing empire. So this is the book that I picked up, Escaping Wonderland. I guess, I tell you the truth, I really just a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, except I guess she fucks the Cheshire Cat, which is like, okay, we'll go with this. We'll run with this. So I picked this up. This supposedly was an exclusive to the show. It's the hardcover, but I'm pretty sure she's going to have it on her website after the show, which she should have it on her if she has extras. But again, because it was the very, very end of the show, couldn't talk to anybody. There were still people behind me waiting to pick up their stuff. So I just and by the time I picked up this book, I was so exhausted. I was like, you know what? Maybe 3 hours was enough.
You guys, I'm going home.
For real. That's how it felt. And yeah, and it's like, and I just picked up my book and then that's when I left the show. I didn't speak to anybody else. I didn't look for anybody else. I spent enough money as is on the amount of books. I definitely didn't drop, $1,000, but I dropped enough. I dropped enough.
Right.
So I decided, you know what? I think I'm done. And I went home. The idea was, it's like, well, if I know that the room opens, it's 11 and then again at 3, I was thinking, it's like, you know what? So tomorrow I'll just go at the 3 o'clock.
I would totally cock block for Daphne.
Oh yeah. Oh no, Nita, I think you would have really enjoyed this show. You would have enjoyed this show.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, you would have enjoyed it. You would have enjoyed it. because I know that there was one thing at that show that if you were there, because I wouldn't have wanted to spend that much money on it, but I know for a fact you probably would have convinced me to get it.
What was it?
It was a, let's just say it was a squishy sculpture based on phallic Roman lanterns. It actually has a historic
It
precedent.
screams you should have it.
Well, yeah, you know, I kind of regret it,
disappointed
but
in
I
you,
don't
Lage.
regret it. Look, I said I kind of regret it, but I don't regret it because the shit was $70.
Whew.
You know, but the reason why it really
I don't know.
caught
My best friend was 110 and worth every penny.
you know, this was a squishy. This was just a squishy.
Oh. Oh, okay.
This was not a best friend. This was a squishy.
Oh, it's not even multi-purpose?
No, it's not multi. It wasn't
leave it there,
multi-purpose, but it was a figure that's based on an actual Roman artifact. Because phalluses were considered good luck. Having a phallus sculpture in a Roman household was considered good luck. So they had
very lucky
lanterns,
right now.
You know, they had lanterns and things and little statues. And this one, you know, it was because that was the only reason why it caught my attention. Because, you know, the Roman Empire is my Roman Empire.
That's her jam.
And this counts. But like I said, for $70, you know, I was just like,
that's a hefty price.
That's a hefty price.
There.
Although if you were there, you totes would have convinced me to get it.
Did you touch it?
No, I did not.
You didn't even touch it? What's
No,
wrong with you?
No.
Yeah.
No, because this was gross enough. This little jelly thing was gross enough. It's like, because I said that the one thing that really made me not buy it was because I could see it covered in bird dander by the end of the week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
the multi-purpose ones made with that are absolutely disgusting because they always give you these felt or velvet bags to put that shit in.
And all the lint, just
every
like
bit
black.
of lint.
This would just be,
you gotta wash it before and after, and sometimes before you're in a rush, so it's kind of like you don't have time to double clean shit. Okay,
you know, I mean, no, this was just a squishy.
No,
but it would have been covered in. It would have been a complete lint magnet in this office.
It still would have been weird,
you know. But but yeah, so that's if you want
to
to
see it would have been hot. Let me get this lint off my shirt.
No.
Yes, it would have. Yes, I would have paid you.
No,
just one time, just roll it down your sleeve.
No. But so this convention,
no fun.
Well, I was by myself. I was by myself having an anxiety attack.
Oh my God.
Kind of like bitching about, the 3-hour dealer's room and, going home exhausted. But you know what? 5 stars. 5 stars. It's like I would do again, would do over and over again. Even if I could never get a table. Even if I could not get a table to this show, I would go to this show. And especially knowing what I know now, I'd be better prepared in terms of being able to go around and actually see everything. Because what's funny is that, like I said, the video that I took of me just going around the room and just filming everybody, that's the only time the room looked empty.
Oh my God.
Whatever photos that I took that look empty, that must have been like a minute and a half. Because the rest of the time that room was like this. It was like this. It was like this. But it's like, but really though, it's a furry convention in denial, to say it mildly. Art, it's like, really, it's like the way the art and the novels worked together, it was just like I felt very at home, just creatively. I mean,
Right.
really, it was just like, it wasn't like, oh, the books are over there. Oh, we don't no, it's like, it was just like 10 stars, 10 stars, 20 stars. It's like, if I could get a table. Now, here's the thing though. Now, here's the thing, because I was like kind of like really ruminating on this, right? Because even though I really do feel like a good fit for the show, it requires a certain level of preparation to get me in that show as a vendor.
Right.
Like, what I would have to do is I would have to set up my table, with my rig and the whole thing. I would have to set up the table. I would have to show them the types of prints, all the House of Bob stuff, all the Alpha Boyfriend stuff, right? I would have to really focus in on that,
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was just like, holy shit, I mean, in the end, it's like, this is what we're all looking for, right?
Right.
It's like, this is like looking like, could I, and mind you, look, it's like, look, being an attendee and being a vendor could be two different experiences, completely different experiences.
Right.
I don't want to like completely hype myself up saying, oh, this is perfect, and then find out that being a vendor is something very different. However, after the show, because I followed everybody on Instagram, pretty much everybody that was at the show as a vendor on Instagram was talking about how this was the first show they ever sold out of product at. The artists and the authors. They said, I never sold out of all my books. I literally do not have books. It's like, and it's the same thing with the artists. The artists, the fantasy artists, their shit was empty by the end of the first day when I finally went to pick up that last book that I pre-ordered. Their table, I could see their table. Their shit was empty.
Wow.
So what's funny is that I think that might have something to do with the fact that the hours were very limited. So it means that even if you, because that one woman bought all of it, probably. Well, yeah, for real. Mind you, and I'm sure she wasn't the only one who came back with like fucking $2,000 worth of books. So I would have to like really deliberately set up for this show in a way that I could show them that, what, I really do fit here, even though I haven't done covers. But you see, here's the funny thing too about the fact that they closed the dealer's room, right? That they closed that area. Because from what I heard, it was when the authors went around to the other artists and spent time with them. That's when the networking happened.
Right.
Because you had all this time alone with the authors. And it's like, that's what I have to do. Well, that also, I could probably easily, that and Tiffany from Tiffany Roberts, because they were on a show, on a podcast where I was able to ask them this one question. How do you find your artists? Right? And they go, people make fan art for us and we choose from there.
Nice.
So it's like, okay, that's what I have to do as well. And it's like, that's kind of like the vibe that I got also from like seeing the artists with the authors, is that fan art, this is where fan art can really work in my favor when it comes to getting the attention of authors, right? But here's also the thing too that I learned. There is a very specific style that the authors seem to like, especially for covers. And it's a very softer rendering style that I don't do. And again, I'm kind of sitting there wondering, should I make the effort to learn this style, or should I just focus on the alpha boyfriends and just kind of like where do I, trying to figure out where do I put my focus,
right?
Because honestly, the one thing that I would do, the one thing and I would like to experiment with is whether drawing something they didn't know they needed works. Yes, yeah, it would have. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? This idea I'm still this particular idea I'm still percolating, so I won't mention it now. But it's so my whole thing is okay, so I'm going to need to really build out my catalog for this convention,
right?
Which would work for a furry convention too if I do it right. So it's if we decide to do Anthrocon anytime,
multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Multi-purposing,
right? It's what I do for this show could be used at other shows. So that's kind of so in the end, it's I really was okay, I didn't get to do what I actually wanted to do at this show, but I came out with a lot of information I didn't know I needed. So in the end, just for that, the show was a success.
right?
That it was worth it for me to go to this show to really get a sense of what I was getting into. Now it's just kind of okay, I know to keep going the course with my House of Bob / alpha boyfriends, right?
Right.
Because also here's the funny thing. The artist who had the bouncer that was kind of measuring, with a measuring tape to see if you're too close to the table,
Jeez.
This artist, she was doing both. She was doing kind of House of Bob fetish stuff and she was doing both kinds of work. It wasn't just oh, it's just guys. Because it's she's also catering to a fetish community too. And I was really looking at her booth and I'm going, okay, she's kind of doing what I was kind of visualizing for House of Bob. So it's so if she's doing that, right, then that's something that I'm on. I feel that only tells me that I'm on the right track. It's just that I have to do a little tweaking here and there. Like I said, the only thing that's in the way is the fact that I have not done an actual cover for somebody. But I'm pretty sure if I cater my shit enough to the audience, I mean, fucking really?
Yeah, right,
Really?
right.
That I think that'll kind of help get me in the door. And then I can work the convention in a way that will maybe get me those cover jobs. You know what? Let me do the fan art, tag the authors and see what happens. Yeah, no reason to start now. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, making fake book covers. Considering I have plenty of books that I could make fake covers for, and just kind of get into the swing of things,
right?
So 35 stars.
All the stars.
But yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, I have pictures of the show on my Facebook. I have some very particular photos on my Blue Sky. So if you want to check out more of what the show was like, they're on my Facebook. You just go to my Facebook. Nita has a link to my Facebook in the show notes somewhere. Do you? Yeah. Well,
yeah, but I'm about to put it in the chat too.
Okay, yeah. So you can go check that out. The photos that I got from Monsterotica. So 72 stars. But I think that in the end, it's like, this is what we're looking for, right? We're trying to look for the audience that that actually wants our stuff, as opposed to fighting with an audience who doesn't,
Right.
the cold audience, looking for those, we need to look for warm audiences that turn into hot audiences.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend. So I think that, and honestly though, it's like, this does encourage me also to look more into furry conventions again. Because it's like, you know what? I think that we can kind of work it. I think we can kind of work it. Come full circle with everything. It's like it's 1987.
Welcome home.
It's 1987 and 1997 all over again. But really, but yeah, so that was my adventure. That was my adventure this weekend. And I swear to God, I came home, and I came home here, came back from Baltimore, and I couldn't concentrate on anything for the whole week. Like, I was either like constantly sleeping or just able to like sketch. All I did was just sketch like random shit this week. I couldn't really like work on anything. But I'm kind of feeling, like, you know what? I can kind of feel that enthusiasm coming back. So it's like
Daphne got her groove back.
Yeah. I got my I got my groove. But so it's just a lot of thinking that I have to do, a lot, just a lot of like planning, and just trying to figure out like, okay, all right, how do I not fuck this up?
Right.
And
I don't think you can.
Huh?
I don't think you can fuck this up.
Well, I could have another panic attack and just like throw everything out the window.
You're gonna do that anyway, but
that's true. Might as well work around it. But yeah, so any final thoughts?
No, I'm glad you had a great time. Like,
107 stars. Awesome. Yeah, it was really, it was surprising. It was really surprising. It was exhausting. But you know what? It was everything and pretty much a lot more than I thought it would be.
Be sure you're following the con runners.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm doing that too.
Okay.
I'm doing that too.
That way, as soon as they start opening up for tables, you'd be like, hey. Yeah,
it's like I said. So yeah, what I want to do is I want to make kind of like a table portfolio for them. Because I've seen people do that for anime conventions, because it seems like anime conventions are really big on that. So I go, you know what? Let me actually do one for them so that they can see so they can see like how I would fit in.
Right.
And it's like, I'm probably going to have to get to work on that next story for Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut.
It is time.
I think it might be time for me to start like kind of like laying it out and putting together that book, putting together a Viking Slut trade, just for that, I mean, right. Really, I think, so yeah, the list is long. There's a lot of shit on the list. I don't want to overwhelm myself, but right now, my whole focus right now is to finish issue 11. Oh yeah, right. Oh, and that was the thing too. It's like, yeah, I would really need somebody to like. So yeah, well, we're gonna have to figure something out. I
I mean, we'll be at your sister's. That's all the incentive I need.
Oh, brother. So yeah, so that's so any final thoughts? Any final thoughts from the gallery?
I lost my final
chat?
thought 45 minutes ago. Chat, y'all got any thoughts? No, the chat doesn't think either.
Right, yeah, the chat's done too. The chat got shit to do. Our eyeball people got shit to do. I know we're running over, but hey, it's like two big things were happening.
It was great. It was great.
You know, we had the campaign. Again, thank you everybody for all your support on the EGORAVEN 10 campaign. It's just trippy to be in double digits right now. And yeah, and right now it's on to issue 11 and setting up the issue 11 campaign so I can get that pre-launch page up. No rest for the wicked. You know, so thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for listening to me ramble about all this, right? Thank you so much to our beautiful eyeball people who could be listening to anything else.
But you listen to this shit.
You listen to us, and I thank you. We thank you. We appreciate every single one of you, you know, and, you know, except you.
I don't know. Just
the one person.
The one person.
There's always one person.
That hate watcher.
Right, that one hate watcher. It's like, you know,
did
really.
You see what those bitches said? Thank you for the ratings.
Yeah, thank you. Engagement is engagement. Oh my goodness. So any schedules or whatever, or anything that the people should know before
show notes. Check the show notes. Scheduling is going to be weird. I'm not going to be adding anything else for quite some time because the new Streamyard thing is going to annoy the fuck out of me because I have to be able to be on hand for every fucking stream.
Right.
It's like, just when you think things got better, they get worse. Yeah, they go right back to where you were, and they cost more.
Right. Exactly.
Fucking economy.
Yeah, for sure. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and my convention adventures, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook, where again, you can find all my Monsterotica photos on Facebook. And if you're also interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress, I usually post it to Facebook before any place else. And you can also catch me here on YouTube for all my videos and my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. I have so many sketches, but it's time for us to get back to work anyway. So I will be back next Wednesday with my art live stream. It's 2 hours of me just working and hanging out with the chat. It's kind of like being at a convention, but there's no squishies on the table. Oh my goodness. And remember that you can also read EGORAVEN, Heir the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. But if you want an easier way to read EGORAVEN and Tall Tales, you can head on over to Webtoon. Yeah, I guess
just came up. It froze.
Oh, okay. You can head on over to Webtoon, where EGORAVEN updates every Tuesday and Tall Tales updates every Thursday. EGORAVEN is just finishing up issue 5, and Tall Tales is just finishing up issue 6. So thank you so much again. Thank you so much for joining us. And in the words of the ancients, with their little lanterns, weird-shaped lanterns in the background, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.